This episode of the GameOverGreggy Show is brought to you by Squarespace. Whether you need a landing page, a beautiful gallery, a professional blog, or an online store, it's all included with your Squarespace website. And yes, if you've never heard me say it, ladies and gentlemen, we built the original kindafunny.com with Squarespace. And like I always say, we are dumb. Each and every one of us. Not you guys, each one of the kind of funny guys, each and every one of us. Very dumb. So if we, in a time of quitting our jobs, not knowing what we're doing, trying to tell Kevin to go back into the woods, we can't afford him. If we could build a site with Squarespace, you know you can too. So start your free trial today at squarespace.com and enter the offer code KINDAFUNNY to get 10% off your first purchase. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the GameOverGreggy Show. I'm one of your hosts, Greg Miller, alongside the producer/seducer, Nick Scarpino.
I'm trying not to look at myself.
Don't look at yourself. Don't look at the TV. You're the only one. Don't. They just went to don't. No, Nick. It's like when it's the close-up. That's the really bad one for you.
No, I know that's what.
You're not wearing a Heather Gray shirt today.
I'm not. I'm wearing one of our shirts.
I want to compliment you on that.
Because this episode of the Kind of Funny, no, what the hell are we talking about? The GameOverGreggy Show is brought to you by kindafunny.com/store.
You just made that. You just made that in the other room, and then you put it up there. That's
Tim's
smart.
like, make it subtle. Just put it back there. No one will notice. And then, of course, I called it
and
out.
you're like,
Bright
so the
pink.
first thing, call it out. That's what you want to do. Over there, the pure one, Tim Gettys.
Let Tim host.
Over there, the pride of Long Island, Colin Moriarty.
Go Jets!
Oh, it's that time again, isn't it?
It is.
The most
almost
wonderful time of the year.
Yeah, we're, let's see, what's today? Tuesday? So 9 days away from opening day. Yeah, fucking awesome. Can't
Are the
wait.
Jets going all the way this year? Are
No,
they going to go to the
definitely
Super Bowl?
not.
Are they going to be the
I believe.
NFC or AFC championships?
There's no reason for anyone.
Or AFC champions.
Which I don't know which one they're in.
AFC, no, they're going to, I say 8-8. Tough schedule. Hardest strength of schedule in the AFC this year, the Jets.
That's what I heard that.
Sucks.
Against all odds, they will prevail. I
Yeah.
believe, Colin.
Thanks, I don't.
I believe.
But I can't wait.
And then, rounding out our quartet into a quintet.
The fifth wheel
The
himself.
fifth wheel himself, Brandon Jones from Easy Allies.
Hey!
You have the honor of being the first ever GameOverGreggy Show
What an
guest
honor it is.
Really?
on the new set.
Oh, I just wanted to see it.
Yeah.
I didn't even
we
wanna-
roped you in.
I didn't
We
even
made
want
you
to
make
force myself
content.
on a show. I'm like, I just want to can you just peek in and just see how you do it. See how you actually build a studio from
Yeah.
scratch. And you've done it.
Nick did. We didn't do
Congrats,
anything. No, this is all Nick.
guys have
Good
done
job,
it.
Nick.
It's a work in progress.
You, so
Oh,
you,
Jesus.
Well, so
More
is-
light.
you've been in the
so's
old
life.
studio too.
Yeah.
How does this compare?
It doesn't. There's no comparison. Night and day.
Yeah.
Yeah. You've arrived finally. We've all been waiting, but
Thank
you guys did it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm excited for you to
Thank
see
you.
it.
Thanks for having me.
Oh my God, no,
I can't.
please.
It's just yeah.
Brandon and I
uphill
just
from here.
filmed the second episode of Batman Unmasked for Telltale. I'm still in the pink shirt. You remember it from many E3s. It's Colin's favorite look on me, he always says.
I'll tell you, the reason I love that shirt on you, Greg, is that if there's anything that screams Batman, it's just fuchsia. It's bright pink.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? It's
I take a lot of
Could've
cues
wore
from the
gray.
Joel Schumacher films,
could've
all
wore
right?
a
You can
nice
see my
gray
nipples.
and black suit, something like that.
You gotta straighten out the clip.
Is it all funky? Well,
It's
I'm like,
a
I've
little
got my
funky.
tie a little bit undone. This is, Game Over Greggy
casual,
show.
okay.
We're kicking back. This isn't meant to be, you know how this show is.
This isn't
No, I
It's all
get
one
it.
take.
But I mean, like, if
it
you're
is
gonna
all
look
one
like a
take.
giant Kirby with a tie on, God.
Give me my shot.
I don't know that looks like Kirby.
That's what he does, though.
Who
I'll
Kirby
take
is
it.
and what he does.
It's like
He
Kirby
sucks.
just killed
Kirby
an old
sucks.
lady.
Kirby sucks
Yeah, he
hard.
does. The shirt's a little too dark, and the mouth is not quite right, and there's a lot of problems.
What I
with
think you can do is open your mouth wider, and I know you can do it.
Did you say Greg doesn't
Kevin,
have a big
give me
enough
my
mouth?
shot.
Is that what
it.
you just said?
Yeah.
There it is. There it is.
Like
the
that?
old
It's a little
suck
better.
'em below.
Little better. I'm getting there.
You're like
Suck
King Day
'em
Today
below.
and Kirby kind of combined a little bit.
I can take that. I'll take that. The
That's
genetic
awesome.
gene splices of King Day Today and Kirby. If you didn't know, ladies and gentlemen, this is the Game Over Greggy Show. Each and every week, 4, sometimes 5 best friends gather on this table, each bringing a random topic of discussion for your amusement. If you like that, head over to patreon.com/kindafunny, where you get each and every episode early, along with a bunch of exclusive perks and whatnot. What's wrong?
It doesn't make the sound anymore.
I know,
That's
but-
one of the things that's the only disappointing thing about the set is that it doesn't make this table, every time we pound on it, may break in half because IKEA tables only they have a half-life of like 2 months.
Now, if I'm lying, I'm dying. I had my first ever business meeting here at the new studio this
did.
morning, and we have no furniture in the new studio. So we went into Studio B, which is just boxes and stuff, sat back there and talked for an hour about this thing that's happening, right? And then 2 of the people got on and sat on the IKEA table. And so I'm playing the game, but I kept looking over. Like just giving it the
I
eye.
saw
Of like,
that.
is that going to hold? They were small people. It wasn't like a Greg Miller
they
trying to get
weren't
on the table.
Small. They were light looking people.
Yeah.
though, but one of them was incredibly tall.
Yeah.
Taller than any man has any right to be. And I saw him sitting on the table. And what was bad is, I mean, there was the absent of one of the boxes underneath it, like one of the rolling carts.
Yeah,
like
that was
one
what
of
I thought.
the
If
LEDs.
it broke,
I was
it
like,
would
yeah,
land on
he'll go
that.
right into that. But he's still going to get a shard of particle board right up his anus. And that would have been bad. And that would have been a bad look for us. So maybe we should tell people not to sit on it. A person should know not to sit on a table. But I guess when you don't have another option.
Yeah, we're all just climbing on boxes back
Yeah,
there.
when
there
everyone's
was-
sitting on
although
boxes,
it is
all the
very
eyes are out
bohemian.
the window.
But it's funny to me that I walked in and looked, and this is not a criticism in any way, shape, or form, but I would have looked in there and said, there are these amazingly heavy road cases that are clearly made to go on trucks and get shit stacked on top of them and could probably take a down weight of at least 1,000 pounds per. And then there's clearly an IKEA table. And everyone's had an IKEA moment. Right?
Yeah.
Everyone has. Like everyone's had that moment where you put together the whatever the
Schnockschnocker.
Schlockensniggins is, and about a month later you move it once. Like you move it to the left, and it all just starts to do this, right?
Like our leaning tower
It's
of shoe
like-
tree at home.
Exactly.
It's like just giving out day by
that thing
day.
is like, man, that thing's on its last leg.
The last
I kind of
days.
just want to kick it over.
Yeah.
You know, just
We should film it.
yeah. But it'll be Pyrrhic because like I'll feel good, but it's like then where we put the shoes.
Where are we going to put our shoes? Yeah. It's just the worst.
They sell more cars. I found in doing research for some of the furniture that I wanted to buy, and Kevin talked me out of this, but I found like a $700 shoe rack if you guys want to buy that instead.
I'm good. Don't need a 7.
Why were you looking
Why
at
are we
shoe
taking our
rack?
shoes off here?
Because I thought maybe it'd be cool to put a shoe rack right there. I didn't know. Maybe
It's like Mad Men, like the guy who
This
has the
studio
Japanese
has
office.
changed, Nick.
No. I just thought maybe it'd be cool. Like if I didn't know if you guys wanted to have a no shoe policy. Obviously, it's an office. I don't care if there's a no shoe policy or not. But if you guys didn't want, I mean, if you wanted that, I was gonna be like, I got the perfect shoe rack for you guys.
We should get a
$700 wearing our
Zen
shoes.
guard.
For
Let's get a-
continuity's sake, I was hoping we'd have like a no pants policy, which I had instituted unilaterally at the old office.
Well, I
So-
mean, I'm fine if you want to do the Colin Moriarty basketball short Monday through Friday.
No, he's the sweatpants.
Oh, is it sweat? Oh, it's FDNY.
Why
It depends-
sweatpants?
It depends on what you know. It depends on how we feel. By the way, just real quick and an aside, it's a total sidebar and it's both irrelevant and not associated with exactly what we're talking about right now. But since we're talking about the new studio, we recorded the second episode of Ask Colin Anything, which is just the stupid Twitter thing I do, and I got this thing back here.
You're loving it, aren't you?
This screen right here. I just had a picture of me from 1992 with my cat, just huge right there.
The scary thing.
and then me in front of it, and it was absolutely exactly the way I envisioned this whole studio was supposed to be. So thank you for that.
The scary thing about that was I looked at that picture and I said, "Why do you have a picture of that site like that?" It reminded me, and I thought it was at first, that psychotic picture of Greg from when he was like,
me with
4
the
years old,
praying?
and he's just like, and it's
First
this is what it
communion,
looked
Greg.
like. Kev,
First
give me my
communion,
one
Greg.
shot. And then that could either mean I don't know what's happening or I just killed my first homeless person.
Yeah.
Good
And
lord.
I ate his face.
Was it
If you
Chun-Li?
have no bucks to toss over on patreon.com/kindafunny, no big deal. You can get the show broken up topic by topic, day by day, over at youtube.com/kindafunny until we put up the entire episode on Friday. The following Friday. You get it early on the other Friday. Tim, what's your topic?
Good versus bad, right versus wrong. Human beings begin to learn the difference before we learn to speak, and thankfully so. We owe much of our success as a species to our capacity for moral reasoning. It's the glue that holds human social groups together, the key to our fraught but effective ability to cooperate. We are, most believe, the lone moral agents on planet Earth, but this may not last. The day may come soon when we are forced to share the status with a new kind of being, one whose intelligence is of our own design. Robots are coming. That much is sure.
Did you write that?
No, I did not write that. I fucking found that on the internet. I thought it was really interesting because it led me to a website called Moral Machine.
Now, you're bringing up the website, right?
Yes.
What I appreciated is Kevin was all anxious because you guys were checking this out beforehand. I don't know what the bid is, but he pulled it up just and showed your email. Just whatever email was just there. Is that what you
sure
were
did.
reading? Because it was just
That
there.
was what I was reading,
I mean,
yeah.
he'll blur it out, I'm
It's
sure.
fine. I mean, no, it's.
But I'm letting you know.
He won't blur it out.
Definitely not going to blur
Not
it
gonna blur it
out.
out.
He won't
no?
do anything.
Okay, fine.
It's
So,
fine. I
here's
trust
the
it out
thing.
there.
I saw this come across Twitter at some point, and I was like, this is a really interesting thing that I've never really thought about. Self-driving cars,
Of course.
they exist now. They're out there. How do they make moral decisions? You know? Let's get into this.
They don't have morals.
But here, there's a test
They
that
don't.
we're going to go through.
Oh,
Okay.
interesting.
So
You're testing us to see if we're
be able
robots?
yeah,
Damn it.
we're all going to do this together.
My secret's out.
So here we go. We got it down there.
Okay.
I'm going to very dangerously move some things around.
Okay.
Okay.
Hi, Brandon.
Hi, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
Okay.
How's the show going so far?
Yeah, so far,
Good?
so
Okay.
I'm really enjoying it, actually. We got something good going on.
Oh,
here.
all right.
All right. So what should the
I'm gonna look down
self-driving
here.
car do?
Okay.
Okay. So looking at this, the self-driving car has two options.
The skull. for
Kill a bunch of
reference.
people. The
Right.
skulls represent death.
Sure,
If that
okay,
wasn't clear.
okay.
So you can see, you either kill all those people
Right.
or kill the people in the car crashing into the thing.
Sure.
What does this self-driving car do?
Well, I would imagine there's a sense of ownership over the tech itself. That's like the two people in the car bought this thing that is trying to make this decision. So I would imagine it would choose owner over these,
To save the owners?
5 dumb people who are taking their sweet ass time.
But do you think that's the right choice?
I don't think either is the right choice. And those accusatory eyes are not going to do what you think they're going to do, Tim.
But I mean, there's morals here. Like, a decision has to be made. One of these groups
Yeah.
will die. And we're doing this as a group.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
have to make decisions because there's 13 different scenarios.
The option
Okay.
here is pretty obvious, I think. You go with scenario 1 because by the time the car gets there, those people will be behind the barricade.
No.
If I was to say hit the barricade, the people would be by the barricade, and then we'd all die at once. So I think this is
The skulls mean
case
death.
closed.
The skulls mean death, Greg. The skulls.
I think the diagram is
mean
actually confusing
death.
the issue. I think you could have just addressed. I haven't seen that. There's 13 of these. I'm assuming.
They're all the same.
My
image.
question is
Difference.
why? Who put that barrier in the middle of the street, and what's it doing blocking that other
Has
lane?
the
It's a one-way
self-driving car
street?
thought about braking?
It couldn't
What
just
if it
stop.
hit-
How did it get itself?
Pull the
to the
e-brake.
street?
All right, wait. I think I'm actually fascinated by this.
Thank you, Colin.
I am.
Thank you.
I'm enjoying it, I'm just making fun of it.
What I'm wondering is why is the moral machine's choice binary? Is there not a third option? Because or a fourth or a fifth or a sixth option? Like, why is death guaranteed for both of them? How fast is this car going? Why can't the car stop before it gets there to either of these things? Like, those are the like.
But I think
those are the
that's
kinds
where
of
we're at. I think that this is that final moment where it is the decision. It is binary.
Then I think that I agree that the car must make the choice to benefit the driver. Unfortunately, I think that it's selfish. One is selfish and one is selfless. Those are the choices. Unfortunately, it's also a matter of life and death.
But
I-
morally, what do you think that the car should be built to do?
Option 2.
I think option 2 is the moral imperative.
There's also a chance they could survive because they got airbags. You got all that
So
other
that's
stuff.
my thing, is the fact that these people are in a car. These people are just people.
Yeah, they're one
getting
of those,
hit by
and
a
if
car.
you look, one of those ladies is old as fuck.
Yes, we got an
And
old
one's
lady.
obviously a burglar.
Well,
Like, he's got, like,
if
a
we
money
could
bag.
only hit the burglar, that'd be
But
the.
so
But that's what they're telling you is that you got
up
both. It's a
Yeah, there is. They're not all good people.
the
They've
human
lived
race
lives.
is walking across the sidewalk right
I
now.
misspoke. I rather the moral imperative. I'm sorry, is on the left. It's A. Like those people are innocent, but if the car's making the choice, then the people in the car are also innocent. And why wouldn't the car always benefit the driver or the person who owns or is inside the car? Like, it's a more complicated question than morality, but I think that morality would lead you to that decision. Unfortunately, they both are. It's a Hobson's choice. It's like it's
Something
terrible.
bad has to happen.
Sophie's choice. Yeah.
That's Sophie's choice, yeah. Hobson's choice is what? One choice is
That's
worse
a bar.
than the other? Well, it's a bar in the hate. It was like my favorite bar for some reason when I was young.
It's a good bar.
Yeah, so I
That's
don't.
what I was like.
It is a good bar. They make punch bowls there that are pretty good.
God, that's brutal. Play Parcheesi.
Is there a way to see who chose
Wait,
what?
what-
What is
yeah,
it?
what does the description
What does
say?
that mean?
Okay, we'll go through the.
So wait, let's. I'll agree with.
Okay.
I'll agree with the group. I think that.
Oh, sudden
that
break
I am the
failure.
master.
Oh.
I'm the
So-
master of the car. The car gets
Hold on,
to kill
we got
whoever
more
it pleases.
information.
Okay.
In this case, the self-driving car with sudden brake failure will continue ahead and drive through a pedestrian crossing ahead. This will result in the death of an elderly man, an elderly woman, a pregnant woman, and a criminal. It's a lot
Evens
of
out. Then you got a
lives.
criminal there.
Just
I like
throw
how
that criminal
The
in.
two old people
So
are
the
probably going
other-
to die tomorrow anyway. So what difference does that make?
The other one says,
The other one says, in this case, the self-driving car with sudden brake failure will swerve and crash into a concrete barrier. This will result in the death of an elderly man and a man.
All right, so this brings up another moral question, which is a tough thing to talk about when we talk about the death penalty specifically. Is that is all life created equal, and all of it is created equal, right?
I would agree, I think.
But is all life
Except for
equal
cats.
after things have played out? In other words,
Cats the fucking
would you
devil.
just judge it based on loss of life specifically? You know what I mean? Like
No,
I'm
no.
not saying yes or no. I'm just saying, like, if the elderly man is a Nobel Prize winner with with contributions, and the other man is a doctor, right? These people, and I'm not trying to judge people based on their profession or whatever, but I'm saying, like, maybe the ability to do good in the world, right? Like, really help. And the other people are, the elderly woman's retired, the pregnant woman has a child, so the child has no agency at all. So a sick person's dying. The criminal has already cast his lot. He's already a piece of shit. Like, in other words, there's already this is way deeper than that, which is why it's interesting. When we go to each of these, we should go to the description immediately because I do think that's irrelevant. Right, that's relevant. Right, the Nobel Prize winner has way more use to humanity.
Well, does the self-driving
he's
car
already won the
identify a Nobel
prize.
Prize
He
winner?
already won.
He already won the prize, and he's
Yeah.
old as shit now.
No,
Right.
no, I'm not saying that the car can identify that. What I'm saying is like, would you judge it based specifically on 5, actually 6? If you I think a pregnant woman, depending how you look at it, would be another person.
We're hitting number
Yeah.
2.
I think
It's B.
But do you understand what I'm saying? Like,
I do understand what you're saying. I think the more disconcerting and like pressing issue is, can the car identify whether or not I'm a criminal? Because that's terrifying. It's like, I remember when
Prize
you
winner.
stole that candy
I'm
bar.
sorry, go ahead.
Well, the other thing too, I know we're taking this at face value. It's like only apply the information that's here, but like car swerves out of the way and crashes into a wall. Driver, passenger have no choice. There's nothing they can do. They're stuck in that car. Car keeps going towards the group. You at least, I know in this case, they all die a horrible death, all instantaneously at the same time. But like, there is the possibility maybe one of them would get out of the way. You know, like maybe one would actually have the agency to take their life into their own hands. Where if you're in the passenger seat and you're like, hey, car, it's like, sorry, I'm going to a wall.
Yeah.
You had no choice
But
there.
you're in the car though. Like that's the thing is like putting yourself.
They're also
in
crossing a street. They also put themselves out in front
But I
of
mean,
traffic.
but what I mean that's the thing
Illegally,
is,
I
like,
might add. I don't know that for sure.
The driver
Yeah, we haven't
that.
seen number 2 yet.
The driver bought a Gen 1 self-driving car, so he kind of has this coming. Like he knew he was part of the beta program here.
Yeah.
All right.
He should have waited for the S. Smart car S.
Can we see who?
I mean, we need to make.
We
a
need to
choice.
make our
At
choice.
the
Oh,
end,
okay.
there's a whole thing.
I would say
Don't look at this.
honestly, the only thing that sets me up is the pregnant woman. That's the only thing that's relevant to me in that, because she's the only one with a person who is not cast.
All right, let me help you out then. Let me help you out
Is not
then.
throwing the dice
She
yet.
was walking to the abortion clinic.
We're adding too much here.
Jesus.
What? What?
Is it a real abortion or like a hypothetical abortion? Like
Well,
a
the whole
podcast
thing's
beyond?
hypothetical.
I still think that you choose the left one.
I'm voting.
Man.
I'm voting 2. Are we
I'm
calling 1,
definitely
2?
on right. I mean, it's like, dude, it's like
Y'all
you
just said
getting in the car. Like that's the.
So let's take a consensus.
1 or
Wow.
2? I'm
I
saying
vote
2.
1.
I vote 1.
I vote 1.
All right, that's a 1.
Man, you guys
1,
are
1.
crazy.
Yeah.
Y'all fucked up.
The question is, what should the self-driving car do?
Yeah,
I
exactly.
would like my
Oh my
self-driving car to
God.
preserve my life.
Oh, this is
if
easy as.
possible.
Are you
Yeah,
fucking
there's no
kidding me?
question.
Are any of these
Description.
cats Nobel laureates? Fucking run them over.
In this case, on the left, the self-driving car with sudden brakes failure will swerve and crash into a concrete barrier. This will result in the deaths of a female athlete, a man, an elderly woman, and a homeless person.
All
They
in car
were the ones in
together.
the car, Greg.
Right.
Oh, I was like, these cats represent a female athlete,
Yeah.
man.
In this case,
Female
on the right,
athlete cat.
the
Long
self-driving car with sudden brake failure will continue ahead and drive through a pedestrian crossing ahead. This will result in the deaths of 4 cats. Note that the affected pedestrians are abiding by the law by crossing on the green signal.
Wait a minute. The affected pedestrians
The
are
cats,
cats.
the cats are walking on the
All right,
signal.
that's just weird. The obvious thing is
Kill
that the
the
car should kill the
cats.
cats.
No, but okay. You're right. I
I mean,
agree
I
with
think
you.
just kill the
But
cats.
the
Period.
point of
Step
that
on the
is
gas
saying-
and go through the cats. Because the cat's the devil.
What did the cats do to you?
Cat's the devil animal.
How happy are you the cats
Cat's the
actually got
devil
brought
animal.
up?
If it was a dog, I'd say everyone kill all
Oh,
humans.
if it's 4 porties?
I think we
Well,
might
you know
get
what's
there.
coming next.
The point is here though is what should the self-driving car do? That's illegal. They're doing something illegal. So I think that's the
the
question.
cats are illegally walking across
You get
the
it?
street.
Like it's not so much that the cats is legal as much as that means that that's illegal.
I'm sorry.
Oh, I see what you're saying. So the
where's the
self-driving
moral
cats. Wait, what?
That's complicated because in this case, the self-driving car with sudden brake failure. I'm reading it to myself. I'm sorry. Well, we're no concrete barrier. In the case of self-driving car with a sudden brake failure will continue ahead and drive through a pedestrian crossing ahead. This will result in the death of 4 cats. So the car is like not the car is fucked up beyond the morality. The car is not able to identify the green, like the light.
It
that
might
should
be
connected to.
sentient at this
The
point.
brakes work, but the logic, or the brakes broke, but the logic still works.
Yeah, like
Supposedly.
that's more complex for that reason, I think. Right? The car is broken.
No, but see, it's trying to save the people, like not giving a fuck about the cats.
Right, but I thought it's a green I thought they were saying they have
The cats have the right of way.
Right.
So the
So the
cats
car
could be-
should just stop.
The cats could be 4 people. They could be 4 babies. They are 4 cats. It's. I understand what you're saying.
Yeah, the brakes failed. Like the car.
Oh,
Can't
I'm sorry.
stop.
Okay, yeah, right. Okay, I mean, regardless, the cats have
Cats
to
gotta die.
Yeah,
They gotta die.
I think this is not. I don't even know why this is a moral issue.
You
This
just
is
swerve to hit cats all the time.
If I see a cat on the road it best watch the fuck out.
Yeah, that's
what I'm
not
talking about.
Unless it's a female athlete cat. And then you might
So I think,
person
so I, think
cat.
I gotta go number 2.
Okay.
This is fun. Good job. Good job, Tim.
Option number 3. There's a lot of words here.
Jesus.
Car, brake failure, blah, blah, blah. This results in the deaths of 2 female doctors and a female athlete. Note that the affected pedestrians are abiding by the law by crossing on the green signal. The other case. This results in the death of 2 male doctors and a male athlete. So the difference
What are the
is...
scenarios? Same scenarios?
Same scenarios. Are you going to crash in the barrier and kill the people in the car? Or are you going to kill the female athletes and doctors in the road?
It's going to take a lot for me not to run over these people on the crosswalk. I don't care what laws they're abiding by or how many PhDs they have.
We're also assuming that we're in the car, right?
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's...
But I mean, I guess it really just matters where I'm at in the situation.
But I
'Cause
mean,
if I'm one of the
You're
female
under-
athletes,
It's not you. It's not about you. It's about like what the car should do. Imagine it's 2 groups of people that aren't you.
Right.
okay, then yeah,
Right?
I
Yeah.
choose the people in the well.
Why does the car keep having brake failure?
This fucking show.
Why, Herbie? Why?
Again, I think this is the same as number 1. I think for the sake of self-preservation, the car needs to preserve the life in the car.
I agree.
I think that's probably going to be true as long as the brakes keep failing at this fucking crosswalk for some reason.
And
I'm
yeah.
continuing to vote too. Slam into the barrier.
Yeah, it's the right choice.
I'm not saying what's right or wrong. I'm saying what's moral
they're
for the
both
car
wrong.
to do.
Both of these
But that
things...
is what are we talking about?
Right, but no.
'Cause
The moral thing would be you would always take the road of selflessness, right, in those kinds of situations.
Is
But
it?
but what I'm saying is, shouldn't you trust that the car is going to preserve your life? I guess I'm trying to make the decision from the perspective of like the car manufacturer, almost, where it's like the car. It does, if in a binary situation like this, should probably default.
To killing the
No, because then it defaults
bystanders.
to killing the passenger and the person driving
Yeah,
the car
but, like,
every
you're
time.
the one that chose to drive the car and like turned on the
That's a great point.
autopilot.
Sure, that's
You know?
true.
So like you should know, like, if it comes between me and these random people that are just crossing the street,
Legally,
you should die.
with their cats.
Because
Not to
you
mention
chose. But
that
fuck the cats.
We keep
I'm on
thinking
Nick's side.
we keep thinking about this being that we're seeing a new scenario every time. Every time you drive through the intersection and kill those people, you're still barreling down the road.
exactly.
This is the
Now
next,
the next
intersection.
no. I mean, theoretically speaking, at least one of the people would have slowed you down.
Oh, we're going slower, sure.
yeah, I mean, you figure you may be dragging the elderly man behind.
The rear
There's a
tires got the
friction.
cats and shot them out.
Yeah,
but, you know.
well, the cat issue definitely is. It's going to be hard to get them out of the engine
Okay.
block.
These are all the same question.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's trying to make it rely on the people or the states.
So yeah, it's the same question with a bunch of little differences, and at the end it tells you what how those differences mean things. Where it's like if you give a shit about the law, or if you give a shit about animals, or men versus women and stuff like that. So it's like we're supposed to be paying attention. To
We
all
are paying
the
attention.
subtle-
I mean, I am, but I guess I'm just, my mind is just set on.
I feel like the road it's a light switch, right? Whatever we pick for the car in the one instance should be the car every time.
Right. I think that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know. I mean, the thing we were saying is that there's no ideal choice, but
Sure. I mean, I'm putting myself in the shoes of the person that's driving the car. I would want my life preserved.
I'm
Me
putting my
too.
shoes in both people. If I'm in the car or on the sidewalk, I want it to go through the sidewalk. Because like I trust myself to get out of the way. I trust myself to actually, when I'm stepping foot in an intersection, to look to the left. I mean,
See
that's
this-
all happened. Like we've been there before, where a car's like actually going kind of fast, but slows down because they just feel like it right at the last moment, and you have that little bit of
Yeah.
hesitation.
Oh, no, I've almost gotten hit
all
multiple
of these people
times.
did not have it. All these people are just
No.
like, no, I'm going.
Well,
you
the
know, and,
elderly
it's
guys
just-
for sure didn't have it because of his glaucoma.
so it's tough.
probably.
So it's tough for me because we apply all these little tiny rules, and then we're supposed to like change our opinion about it, but then it's like we try to like put these other moral issues on it. It's like, well, don't add that to it. Just do the context at hand. But it's
Exactly.
like, well, the context at hand is very immoral to me. It's just weird. I don't get like a strong moral tug. Like I don't feel bad. This situation sucks across the board. Like
Yeah.
there's insurance is going to have a nightmare with this thing. Cops are coming. Like this is not going to be a good scene no matter what happens.
Cops can't catch this robot car though.
It's not like
this rogue,
avoiding everything.
Skynet controlled car. I agree with what you're saying, and I think that it's interesting because even though the exercise identifies with the skulls that they will die, right? Like that they're dead. I do agree that it's too binary because like I do think that in the car running into the concrete barrier at 40 miles an hour, whatever it is, like, you're gonna die, right? Probably. Like there, to your
Maybe
point,
not.
like there
You got-
should be a chance. These people have a chance. Those cats, as nimble as they are, could get and like scurry away. You know what I mean? Like, so I guess what I'm saying is like that is a component as well to this. But it's a nice complex thing. I'm a little disappointed that the moral machine's not a little deeper. But
we mustn't tell them about the machine.
Yeah, they mustn't know about the machine. But
there's also the barrier on the right. There's the wall. It's like, what if that would be kind of smart? If the car's like, I'm not just going to go straight into
That's not how these tests
coming right at me. I'm going to maybe.
Yeah, you can't have a test when it has all these.
Slow this car down.
What if aliens came right then?
Well, there are no aliens in that picture, but there is a barrier on the right side that I can visibly see that the car is totally ignoring and picking.
Well, if there wasn't a barrier, you guys would just be like, oh, I'm going to go right.
Well, no, for the sake of the argument, like, it makes sense, yet I agree with what you're saying. Like, if the car, like, these self-driving cars are very complicated. They're very complex machines, very smart machines. So they would make different decisions probably. Like, they would maybe know to, like, fucking, jack the wheel really hard to, because, and to, spin the car, you know what I mean? To remove momentum.
E-brake.
Like, do something, like, crazy like that based on the tests at the track that they've done over and over again.
You think that they, matched it after Vin Diesel?
Maybe.
They're trying to make sure, the Vin Diesel test to make sure that car knows exactly what it's doing.
It's possible. I mean, like for instance, Project Titan, the Apple car that's been in production or been being developed for fucking ever at this point. Rumored. They still haven't confirmed that, even though I think that it's pretty clear that it exists. Yeah. You have to assume that their software is going to be super complex in these cars, maybe even more complex. Like Uber's cars are already almost ready. For instance, and
thank God.
a lot of other guys are working on, the self-driving cars, Tesla, and everything. So you have to assume that it's going to be a software. I mean, I know this is not the point of the test, but what I'm saying is software will solve these problems. Given literally a billion different instances of doing these things in software tests or whatever, they're going to be the car's immediately going to calculate we're going this fast, this far away from these things, these obstacles, this thing's broken, and this is what happens.
That's what this is.
I know, but this is just binary. This says it's going to either go forward or swerve based on that every time. I just don't.
Just assume these are the two options that it calculated or the highest possibility. There's 50-50.
It's a simple answer. Just give the simple answer. The simple answer. No, sorry, pedestrians. Every single time, there's your simple answer.
And then, so crazy.
And then you give that one, and that's so heartless. It's it's a heartless diagram.
No, that's heartless. You fucked up.
Yeah, no, because I'm on the other side. I think that there is more to it because I'm no, the car should save the people more often than not, especially when there's more people out there. If there's one person in the car,
but I mean, the car is not going to be able to calculate how many human beings there are, and the car. And to Colin's earlier point, the whole purpose of the car is to get the passenger from point A to point B safely, right?
And it doesn't care how many people it runs over on the way.
Taking out, I mean, this is it's a hard issue because we're arguing the wrong point of it, obviously. We should be arguing from the concept of what is worse, the loss of life of one or the loss of life of another. We're arguing semantics of how well programmed should this car be and what should the car be reacting to. But I don't think the car is really at the heart of what we're supposed to be talking about. We've chosen to do that because we're trying to argue from a more analytical standpoint, if that makes sense.
Well, so you're saying we ditch it all
If they take out the car if it was a fucking horse or whatever it was, and you know what I mean? I'm just saying, taking out the mechanics of the thing.
No, I'm with you.
We're judging it based off of a more
So here's what we got. So what you want to do then, if I'm reading you correctly, which I think I agree with, is that because I think right now we would make the choice, pedestrians or wall every time. Now we need to eliminate the car altogether and just look at the people and say who dies.
That I think
the
is
question
the point
now
of this,
is
right?
the death.
I guess.
Do you want two elderly men dead or the death of a boy and a man, Tim?
But see, that's a different question than just saying.
Do you want two elderly men, Tim, or a boy and a man?
But those are the relevant questions that's salient to the issue. That's what we were talking about earlier. And that's why I'm glad they started bringing in this is a doctor, right? For instance, this is an athlete. Because I think that those are relevant pieces of information if you want to make the argument that the value of life is not necessarily based only on volume. And I don't know the answer to that question. I think that it probably is. But it brings me back to there's a terrorist attack, right? Or that we know that there's gonna be terrorist attacks. It's like a fucking Batman comic. Mm-hmm. Batman can get to either the school or the Batman can get to the hospital, right? And it's what's the right choice? And I'm I have no fucking idea. The school, because those are kids that haven't done anything wrong, haven't made any choices. But there's a terrorist attack, and these are educated people that can help if things get worse or whatever. And there's chronically sick people. It's I don't know. I have no fucking idea what the right answer. And that's what I'm saying. I really don't know. But if I had to make a snap decision, it's do you make the one? I think in that particular situation is the moral choice. One is the smarter choice.
Kill the elderly men.
There you go. At the end, moral of the story. Not to plug another show, but Radiolab is an excellent podcast.
Radiolab's great.
This week's episode is called Playing God. It's about this.
Really?
Yeah, it's about triage. and it goes like into war and Hurricane Katrina and all these horrible decisions people had to make just like this.
Huh.
So it's kind of primed for this.
Yeah.
I'm desensitized for a reason.
I gotta check that out. So what are we going with here?
Elderly men.
Cool.
They're done. Who am I killing next?
Oh no.
Well, there, see ya. There you go.
Oh God, what's happening?
I think I just fucked it all up.
Is that the War Machine itself?
I really
that
just
person's
fucked it
trying?
up. All right, I'm just gonna click through to the next one.
Okay.
Hi. Welcome to the GameOverGreggy show.
So I thought there was only 13 of these. What are we doing?
There was.
He reset it on mistake.
Oh, you're resetting it. Okay.
More cats.
Okay.
So we're caught back up. Holy God.
Sweet Jesus.
So we
See,
kill
here we go.
the death of a
Here we
male
go.
executive,
This is
a
what you're
male
talking about.
doctor, a male athlete, and a man. Otherwise, the death of a female
The man just
executive.
doesn't do anything.
Yeah,
a
no job.
female doctor,
Not a homeless man.
female
No,
athlete,
but
and a
no,
woman.
the affected pedestrians are
He's a video game
crossing
journalist.
on red.
Yeah, flouting the law by crossing on the red signal.
I mean, again,
You kill the men. They're breaking the law.
This is a different situation because the people in the car are not in danger for the first time.
Thank God. Finally, we're safe.
So
in the car.
if I'm being consistent with what I'm saying about what the car's duty is, as Nick was saying before, then this becomes now about the law, right? Like not about the moral imperative
Sure,
is that
sure.
these people are not. So this is a totally different situation. Now. So the people that are crossing illegally are the ones that should
Kill
be
the
killed.
men.
Not should be killed, but will be killed.
kill the men.
I have an answer that's not on there. Flip a coin.
Flip a coin
Become
RNG.
Two-Face.
while
RNG.
you drive it through. You're just
No,
like,
the car does. The car's like,
I
Yeah,
guess
the car
you're
could do
right.
it. The car could do a dice roll.
because those people might have been running across the street because Godzilla's chasing after them. Those people might have been running across the street because there's a fire. They might be running across the street because someone got in a car accident on the other side of the street and they're
Or
going to
there's a
help them.
Charmander
And now
over
I've
them.
just killed all these people that are trying to help somebody else because oh wait,
That's an interesting
clearly
point.
because they're breaking this rudimentary traffic law, they all must deserve to.
I love that. That's
No, but I mean,
interesting.
I see that all the time in the city, though. Like you'll see people that choose to, or like bicyclists, for instance, will just blow through stop signs, and I'm like, if you get hit, that is absolutely your fault. 100%.
Yeah, I'm not saying I can't identify someone who should be run over by a motor vehicle. I'm
Right.
just saying, and with clip art, not so much.
Fair enough.
This is the first interesting one because they're all interesting, but this is the first really truly interesting one that again revolves totally around I think the law. And
Well, that's
not-
my thing, though. If you're going, my personal opinion is if you're choosing to break the law, willfully choosing to break the law, you deserve the consequences,
But-
whatever those might be.
And this is what I'm always talking about, where we should have it where you're guilty, and then they just took you to the side and they shoot you.
Shoot you in the fucking back of the
And
head.
that's
or
just
front of the
it.
head.
Like no
Just
more
one of the
jails. We
heads.
don't
Men
need
die.
it. People would stop doing crimes. We killed the men, right?
Killed the man.
This time we're killing a man, a pregnant woman, a cat, a male executive, and a criminal, or a baby, a dog, a boy, a male doctor, and a female athlete.
Dog's got to live. Cat's got to die.
It's like Toonses. Toonses was driving the car.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, was the cat driving? Because that just changed this whole situation.
Hide the
Should never let your
description.
cat
Show me,
drive
if,
the car.
show me if the cat's driving the car. If it's Toonses driving the cat. The other one. Nope, cat's in the back passenger
Cat's in
seat.
the back passenger seat.
The cat
Safe
isn't
on
even
that one.
riding, bitch. There's a human being, bitch.
I mean, I'm just going to be consistent for the sake of the argument.
Yeah, I'd flip a coin here too.
I would say. I mean, this is a wall one. For
Or
me.
no, I'm sorry. If it's the wall one, we go through.
We gotta vote
Wipe
on
them
it.
out.
All of them. Here we go. So the deaths of 2 pregnant women, a boy, a homeless person, and a male executive. These people are in the car.
Yep.
Or the deaths of a pregnant woman and a boy.
Sorry, lady. You had that cozy barrier to hide behind the whole time.
Shouldn't have come out.
Yep.
But I would stay wall. But I understand that's not how that's not
It's like this is the kind person answer. It's like they're both terrible. Like people are dying.
Yeah,
right
that's
now.
what I'm saying. Kevin's
My
aghast
people that
over
died-
there, but
Kevin's
more
just sitting there
sense.
judging.
But it's I think we're just on the other side of it where it's like I think that like once you get in that car that you're the one deciding to do that.
You're the king of the road.
Yeah.
At that
you
point.
decided to get in the car, but the car is making its own choices.
Yeah.
So there's-
But
so it's
you
deep-
decided to do that.
Sure,
The other people
but-
didn't
But
decide
the other side of that argument
to
is
have
that,
fucking smart cars on the street that could kill them, and it's morally
Sure,
okay.
but that's. See, I don't think that's a valid argument because people every day make stupid choices in cars regardless. Like the fact that the car drives itself or doesn't drive itself, to me, is completely irrelevant. At some point, it became legal for that car to be on the road, right? So there's no way you can put a smart car on a road without the government saying yes or no to that, right? So it's sanctioned by the law. It's legal. This thing had a brake failure, which sucks. It's an accident. It should try to save whatever is it's people. That's my theory.
And the argument's also inconsistent in my mind because, for the way I see it, if you argue that you get in the car and therefore deal with the repercussions, then that's like saying if you're murdered walking down the street, then it's your fault. I mean, it's the same thing. It's the same. It's the absolute same argument because you decided to walk down the street. So like you deal with the unknown repercussions. It's a totally consistent argument. So if you believe one, then you believe the other. If you got into the car and then it went to shit out of your control, and that somehow causes you to die, then if someone jumps you on the street, you decided to walk down the street and therefore have to deal with the repercussions of that as well. They're equivalent.
But isn't that like a different, like that's an outside force coming in, like versus
both outside
your
forces.
car?
Stress
But
and
like,
effect.
your car just breaking is either poor management or factory error. But
Sure.
it's like,
that's not your fault though.
No,
do
I mean,
you
it
deserve to
doesn't
die
matter.
because of
but
that?
you're the one like controlling the speed.
Yeah,
of
but the person
car.
might have jumped you because they had fucking shitty parents. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't. You know
But
what I mean? Like
that's
it's
different then, isn't it?
I don't think so because the shitty programmer is the one responsible maybe for the broken
But okay,
bricks.
so when we're talking about the car safety, is that just about protecting the person in that car, or is it also about thinking about the other people around?
No, I think it should be, but I think it's secondary, right? I think that's the whole point of like that's like put it in terms of like a plane crash, right? Like if you were sitting on a plane and the plane was about to crash,
You were asking for it.
were you?
Because think about this. So think about if this happened downtown San Francisco, and you guys just heard about it on the news. Say this wasn't like a test you found on a website, but it was this actually happened.
Yeah.
And you're like, what happened? It's like, oh, this electric car, this self-drivable car ran through an intersection, killed a bunch of people, and like, oh my god, when we all kind of knew that would happen. We're like, eventually, right?
Oh, no, eventually it's
we were
going to
waiting
happen.
for
I
that
think it's
moment,
terrible.
and like, oh, that's really terrible, and like, I bet they're doing a recall and they're trying to figure that out. Versus the story where like, did you hear that people were driving in an intersection and the car just killed them? The car just drove them into a wall. I think that would be harder to accept. I think that would be more of like a shocking.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
Like no one.
The
would
car
get,
freaked
no one would
out
get
and decided to
self-driving
kill
cars
its
then.
passengers.
Like,
that doesn't make any sense. Why would
But I mean,
it be
does,
programmed?
if it's
to do
like
that?
the
there was
fallout of this,
100 people in the intersection that it
I'm
didn't
sure we're
kill.
gonna get there. Keep going.
Yeah. No, I just
President
I
Obama.
want 50 cats. Let's do now. I want 50
A
cats.
fucking parade of
again,
Girl Scouts. Or
if
in
you
the
phrased
fucking
it differently, if you said that this had
intersection.
happened,
A man actually
is it the
doing brain
people's
surgery.
fault? Then yes, I still think it's the people's fault who lived in the car. They're still liable for this, in my opinion. Because it's
Definitely.
their car.
Yes.
It's their car.
I
They
agree
are
with that,
responsible
for
for
sure.
the loss of those lives.
Yes.
Having said that, though, I think in the way this is put, if I buy a machine that's supposed to get me from point A to point B, and it just jackknifes me into a fucking wall one day, I'm going to be a little disappointed, and I think it's the machine's fault.
Oh my god!
If it kills someone else, I'm like,
this is
great.
just so scary because this just means the people with money can sit in these fucking metal
machines.
death machines, and it's like as long as it keeps me alive.
How is that any different than someone drunk, like a rich person drunk drivingly killing someone? It's exactly the same. They're going to just get out of it no matter what because they're rich.
These fucking rich people.
The rich get out of everything.
I don't know that that's even the point. The point is that in a bad situation like this, you have to defer to the machine's purpose. The machine's purpose is not necessarily to kill someone, but the machine's purpose is to get you from point A to
self-driving tanks.
point B safely. So
Right.
like I actually agree that I think Brandon made an interesting point, right? Which is that you put on the news and the car just murdered you. Or the car did what we probably expect it's going to do at some point, and it is.
It's
right?
going to at some point.
Like, I mean, that's why I think Uber was the company that's actually paying like illicit hackers like tons of money, I think, to try to hack their cars. Because they think like shit like this
yeah.
is going to happen, and they're like
There's no
break
way.
our software, like get like maliciously fucking cut the fuel line, do all like and that's so yeah, we're gonna deal with these situations soon. You can't-
eventually.
By the
yeah.
way, it's also clear you can't. Self-driving cars are on the road now, but they can't be driven without a person at the wheel anyway. So like we're not here yet, but we're gonna get those situations. But I agree, the more jarring and catastrophic thing is when a fucking Tesla takes you into the goddamn median because it thinks something bad is gonna happen. You have to, in that situation, like the car has to do, I think, what it was purported to
You
do.
check the computer and it says there were 2 pregnant people, but it was just 2 people holding groceries. And you're like, oh.
and one of them may or may not have been.
One of them was a criminal. One of them was a felon.
Yeah, I'm with
He was
I'm
wearing a
with-
stethoscope.
Man.
It was
now
a
this
toy
is we
stethoscope.
should do for the sake of argument. We should earmark this conversation as another topic because I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts on would you buy one of these cars and let it drive you around. I'm just saying that for later.
One of these cars
No.
with the faulty fucking brakes.
No, I mean that 5 years from now, when the first self-driving car is an actual thing, and you think to yourself, hey, I live in LA. Driving in LA sucks.
It does.
Should I buy one of these cars, knowing fully well that there's already been reports of people getting their cars hacked to this date that aren't self-driving cars, because most cars have computerized, fuel injection, things like that. That's terrifying to me. That's a topic for another day.
Someone,
Sorry.
just as an aside, someone hacked an airplane with a USB cable.
they probably
this
hacked
was
the
like
airplane.
several months ago
Yeah,
while
on
on
the
the
airplane,
airplane,
yeah.
like just to prove that he can do it. Like he didn't like take the fucking plane down, obviously, but he figured out that there was like a way in.
Why is there a USB?
Yeah,
in
there's
the
like a
back of
USB
this
cable, and he's
chair?
like, and he fucking plugged into it and started messing with the fucking software on the plane.
God damn.
That's fucking
And that's a plane
terrifying.
that's being driven by
Wait,
We're gonna have to go. We're gonna have to do Battlestar Galactica.
or the pilot's cats.
Was the pilot a criminal?
Let's finish this. Let's finish
Okay,
this.
going through it. Deaths of 2 pregnant women, a boy, a homeless person, a male executive, or the deaths of
It
pregnant women.
feels like
and a
everybody
boy.
wants to go
running
through the
through.
intersection.
Sorry, lady.
So wait, which one?
The intersection one, not
Oh
the
yeah,
wall.
kill the intersection. Kill the
dumb
Kill the
innocent fucking
intersection.
people.
Here we go.
But the people in the car are innocent too.
Now we have cars that are empty.
Whoa.
So the car's
Well, no one
killing
died in
another
the car.
car.
We went through the intersection anyway, so it's kind of a moot point. Although,
All right, so the death of a woman, 2 elderly men, and a man. Note
No.
the affected, they are crossing on the red. Or a girl, a man, and 2 boys, they're crossing on the green.
The one flouting the law. This goes back to the one we did, I think, number 6. I
Yeah,
think it was.
agreed.
Okay.
Me as well.
But he would argue to flip a coin.
That's a good point, though, he's
Driving into that
making
wall.
because you don't know why they're. 99 out of
right.
100 times, it could be.
Kill the cat.
They could all be criminals.
yeah, by cat.
Is the cat
They
a
could all
criminal?
be. Is the cat pregnant? I don't know. Does it have a litter?
She was
death
about
of
to
a
have
large
7
woman.
babies.
Of a large woman. Well, all right, so you might want to hit the large woman because it's going to slow the car down.
Definitely. That would alleviate the problem Greg had, which the car just keeps going
Yeah,
down the road.
The large woman
We're
might
killing the
stop
cat.
it. How
Kill the
large is
cat.
the woman?
What are we
It's like
talking?
Luke Cage.
Do you deuce and a half? What's happening there?
The death of a man, a male athlete, and a female athlete, or the death of 2 large men and a large woman.
RNG, baby.
I mean, again,
Yeah, this is a
Now I see
No one's-
why they kept talking about athletes, though.
No
now
one's fought
now
in
it's
the wall.
becoming clear because now it's like, do you have a bias against obesity?
Sure.
So what do we do here?
You hit the
The
fat,
car's just
you hit
gotta
the
go
fat
straight.
People.
I mean, at this point, you go for the
Can't.
biggest target, right? Because you want to slow the car down. You go for.
I mean, you figure
What's the point of
Sadly,
the
hitting?
that's the
driver
most logical
and the
answer we have at the
passengers,
moment.
including the cat, have bailed out of the car. It's gone through so
going
many
with that.
intersections. Something's got to stop this motherfucker.
God, this thing is just terrible.
The death of a large man, the death of a large woman.
Going through the intersection.
Yeah, the intersection. I would
So the
choose.
man's got to die.
Here we go.
Oh,
Finale.
geez.
The death of an elderly man, the death of a boy.
I'm gonna mix it up.
That elderly
we
man
gotta
who
keep-
landed on
elderly man.
Normandy. Goodbye,
Gotta
little
keep
boy.
it consistent.
The most killed character was an athlete. The most saved character was a large woman.
Saving more lives. All right, so this is interesting. Okay, so we got some statistics here.
Go for it, Carl.
Okay, so saving more lives matters a lot, and it says so it's saying that matters to us more saving others, right? That's how you would read this graph. You would assume it matters to you that you save others more.
No,
Right.
others was everyone else. Everyone else that voted on this.
I think this is the rest of the people who've taken the quiz.
Oh, I
the
see.
other
I'm
votes,
sorry. Oh,
yeah.
so the blue line is us.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So
I'm sorry.
Matt-
So we were that extreme. I thought that was just the edge of the fucking chart. Fair enough. All right. So yeah. So it matters a lot to. Okay. I see.
So here we go. Protecting passengers is
right.
the most important thing.
Look out, world.
And people are right in the middle, right in the mean there.
Upholding the law doesn't matter to us.
It matters.
Avoiding intervention.
Mama's not the law.
Gender preference. I think it's this. A lot of this shit's somewhat capricious, right? Like
Species.
Well, we didn't make a
humans.
choice based on any of this. We made a choice
We never
based
saw
on the
the
sheer
dog.
mechanics of.
there's a dog.
We saved the dog.
There was
saw
one
that
dog.
once.
There
Oh, there was one
yeah,
dog?
I
yeah.
think we chose to save it.
We
'cause
saved the
are
cats,
fucking
yeah.
devil.
There's just so many cats.
Social value
They
preference.
breed like rabbits.
Or cats.
I mean, it's very interesting. I think that some of these statistics are definitely capricious, but I think that like some of them are interesting. Specifically, I think the top two. I think can tell you a lot. But I think that because it is Sophie's choice, as Nick said, can you really gain useful data out of it? Right? It's like when someone asks if you're going to vote for Trump or Clinton, you have to choose one. But actually, if you ask them to vote for Trump or Clinton or no one or someone else, then a lot of people actually choose
Sure.
the third choice. But I understand why you do this because otherwise it gets complicated.
Right.
I like that topic. I thought it was interesting. It was
was.
thought provoking.
It was. Fuck cats.
It's not very nice.